In Billing Module 3.2, we will go over the Accept Payment Tool, or APT for short. The Accept Payment Tool shows all patient charges that have been set as patient responsibility that have a greater than $0 balance. The APT also indicates how much money has been received from the patient but unapplied in their patient account credit balance. The APT can be used in these scenarios: to pay off a patient balance in full or partially with one payment, to add a credit amount to a patient account credit balance before applying that payment to charges, and to apply payments from the patient credit balance to existing charges that have been set as patient responsibility. The APT is launched from the Patient's Manage Payment screen. Select Manage Payments from the Patient navigation menu and then click the Accept Payment button to launch the APT. The Accept Payment tool initially shows you how much money is in the patient credit balance. This is the amount of money accepted by the clinic that has not been applied to charges or services yet. The box labeled Selected Charges is all charges set as patient responsibility, listed from the oldest to most recent. To see the entire balance the patient owes, just click the box at the top of the left-hand column. If a patient wants to pay the total amount right then, tell them the total, enter the check or authorization number and amount, add any notes or modify the date accepted, and click Save. You can make a payment towards a charge or charges using patient credit by selecting the charge and clicking Apply from Balance. Using this method, if funds are available to pay for an entire charge that has been selected, they will be used. If you want to apply a partial payment to a charge from the patient credit balance, you need to use the More Info tool on the Manage Payment screen, covered in the next section of this billing module. There are 3 scenarios where the APT is your tool of choice. First, to pay off a patient balance in full or partially with one payment from the patient or guarantor. Second, to add a credit amount to a patient account credit balance. And third, to apply payments from a patient credit balance to existing charges that have been set as patient responsibility. Let's go over each case. Paying off a patient balance by cash, check, or credit card is super easy. Remember, for a charge to show up here, it must be marked as patient responsibility and have a greater than $0 balance. To add a charge to what will be paid off, just check the box next to the charge. To add all charges at one time, check the box at the top of the column. Now you see the total of all selected charges. The patient can pay by cash, check, or credit card. You enter the data here and click Save. You can choose to print a receipt or continue without printing. It's that easy. In the second scenario, we want to add a payment to the patient account balance without applying the payment to any charges yet. Open the APT, enter the payment amount and payment information without selecting any charges. The total dollar amount will be added to the patient account credit. Similarly, if you did select a charge and the payment was greater than the selected charge, the balance of the payment would be applied to the patient credit balance. In the third case, we would like to use funds from the patient account balance to pay for services marked as patient responsibility. If you select all the charges and the account balance is less than the total owed amount, Chart Talk will apply the oldest funds to the oldest charges until the available credit balance is zero. The remaining balances will be unaffected. In this demonstration, I am just going to select one charge and apply a payment from the patient account balance. Please note that if funds are available to pay off a charge from the patient account credit balance, the charge will be paid in full. You cannot make a partial payment to a charge from the account balance using the APT. To do that, you will need to apply payment to the line item on the date of service using the More Info tool. So, here we go. I select this charge, and then I click Apply from Balance button. I can even print a receipt for the transaction if I need to. It's that easy. The only configuration in the APT is the list of who paid. This list shows all active payers and guarantors. You set these values in the options under Information on the Patient Navigation menu. This is covered in our Configuration module if you need to go back and review. All of the payments taken using the APT will be displayed immediately on the APT Payments and Original Charges tabs, on the Manage Payment screen, and on all financial reports. On the APT Payment tab, you can expand a specific payment to see how the funds were allocated. If you need to remove a payment from a charge, deleting the payment here will return those funds to the patient account credit balance. On financial reports, you will find sections labeled Account Payment Tool. For each APT payment entry, there are $2 amounts. One is the amount of the payment, and the other is the amount of the payment that has been applied to charges. The difference between the two amounts would be the money from that transaction that is applied to the patient's credit balance. You can print a receipt immediately when taking a payment, as demonstrated earlier, or you can print a receipt from the APT History tab. When printing from the APT History tab, the receipt will break down how the payment was allocated to dates of service and the charges. In summary, we have found that in almost all scenarios, the APT is the tool of choice to accept and apply patient payments. When you apply payments using this tool, Chart Talk automatically allocates the oldest funds available to the oldest selected charges first. The APT is used in these situations: to pay off a patient balance in full or partially with one payment from the patient or guarantor, to add a credit amount to a patient account credit balance, and third, to apply payments from a patient credit balance to existing charges that have been set as patient responsibility. Payments accepted and applied using the APT show up immediately throughout Chart Talk reports and screens. This is the end of Chart Talk Training Module Billing 3.2, using the APT Accept Payment tool. Thank you.